Hi folks, and welcome to Intensive Driving Courses NI. We're going to take another route round some of the areas from Newtownards Test Centre. It'll sort of take us up past the cemetery, up near Mavila direction, out towards Stratheden, out towards, well, what was known as the Six Road Ends, out towards Kinlig, back down the carriageway through to Beverley. Again, I'm just going to be offering advice, mentioning the roads, etc. that you'll be on. And thanks to somebody who had made a comment, I've put now the video into landscape mode as opposed to portrait. Just shows that some of the comments can really sort of improve, hopefully, the features for everybody. So, if you've watched any of the videos before, basically we're starting off at the test centre. Your examiner will have asked you your show and tell questions, and you're now ready to head off. So, heading off, folks, bit of a hill start just where the test centre is, and you come out and you fall around to the left. It's a one-way system. Travelling round, you're looking speeds in and around about 10 to 15 miles an hour, second gear. The MOT centre is just on your right there, just so you see the giveaway lines, so beware obviously of cars etc. coming out. Travelling round, taking up the right hand lane. Basically it's the only lane that has a ramp in it. Now the ramp is very, very high, okay, so first gear, sort of between 5-10 miles an hour, just really because of the height of it. Heading out now through the gate, there's another ramp just coming into view, and you can take this sort of second gear in around about 15, and you've now exited onto Jubilee Road. Industrial type area, just be aware of obviously lots of larger vehicles. Quite a few learner drivers will obviously be near the area, getting familiar with the test areas, etc. And there's quite a few businesses up here that you'll maybe only use from time to time, the likes of DIY places, tire places. So expect a lot of late sudden braking from other drivers. The road itself is quite rocky, etc. No white lines, just be careful to try and keep where you can a metre from the curb, unless you're obviously coming around parked vehicles. Heading down shortly to a set of traffic lights. Anybody that knows the area, it's just past where the legal store is, but you'll see the traffic lights coming into view very, very soon. And on this particular route, we're going to be going left. So normal left-hand procedure, coming up the lights that you've been taught by your instructor. And we can see there's a filter arrow to the left, so remember it could come on even though the right turn could still be at red. As I say, normal observations at traffic lights. Be very, very careful looking for motorbikes and cyclists as well that could be filtering on either side. Depending on the route, you may be told to position straight away to the right hand lane as you go round, which we will be doing on this occasion. And that just means that there could be a possible right turn coming up. But in this scenario, it's because it's straight on the right hand lane, because you can see there's a left filter arrow in the lights, which means left only from that lane. Travelling up, anticipating the lights could change. They've been green for some time, so just covering the brake until you're committed. We've now entered onto coming into South Street. Now this is a very, very tight area. As you can see, there's parked cars, so you know you're looking second gear on most vehicles, sort of in and around about 10 to 15, whatever's suitable. Unfortunately, a lot of oncoming vehicles do not slow that much, but you want to drive defensively. Where possible, give the car door width from vehicles, and as we look further down there, we can see again that the space is going to get contracted. So good early mirror checks, easing off the power, reducing and possibly reducing the gear if need be. We're going to take right at the traffic lights in the crossroads, etc. So mirrors, watch for a car park on the right hand side. Make sure you don't indicate too early in case it looks like you're heading into there. We're going to be turning right into Court Street. Normal procedure at your traffic lights, making sure you clear the crossing, getting your relevant gap in oncoming. Filter arrow there. You don't need to wait for the filter arrow to come on. It's whatever the safest gap is on any light. But obviously the filter arrow might be needed on certain occasions for convenience. Travelling up further down, we can see an all traffic sign there. We're going to come up, we're going to merge over with the traffic on the right just after it. So good early merge checks, indicator on, gives intentions then to people behind and coming towards you. And we're going to travel over to the lane just on the right hand side, cancelling the indicator off, and we're going to now travel around and then try to slide over to the left. So again, merge signal to the left, nice and early, checking well to the left as well, and sliding over. We're going to be turning left at the next set of traffic lights. Again, there's a filter system here, so be on the lookout in case the arrow comes on before the other ones. It's a left turn only, so it's individual whether you indicate or not. If you indicate, there's no harm. If you don't, there's no harm also. Scanning and planning on the traffic lights. If it's more than 5 seconds, advice is for the handbrake to go on. And when we come in, unless you hear anything different, position to the left hand lane. And we have now entered George's Street. We're going to go straight on at the next set of traffic lights, but then we're going to try and move over to the right hand lane just after them. So it's sort of checking early to keep up to date with traffic behind and beside. Now we're going to do our right hand sequence, and we're going to be taking the second road on the right. So I've just passed the first, the second's coming into view. So normal mirror signal checks, positioning just with the mirror at the centre white line of the new road, waiting for our gap. We have now entered Upper Mavila Street. You may have seen there that another vehicle had flashed the headlights. That's not an official signal to come in. You can refuse it on your test or general driving if you're not 100%, it is for you. Now this area here with speed ramps, parked cars on either side, again, it's a very, very slow negotiate. Always thinking what if, looking for your escape routes, etc. You generally take your speed ramps in and around sort of 15, 18, depending on the vehicle. Coming into view is quite a steep hill. They could pull you in on this hill to do a move off, so we'll do that and we'll have a quick talk through. So position, just making sure obviously it's safe, convenient and legal. Handbrake on, and then your examiner will ask you then to move off. So depending on the vehicle, get a certain amount of revs more than you normally do. Try to do your checks round. Indicate as necessary. Blind spot over the shoulder is your last check. And just take your time moving off. Generally, if you stall, they're not going to necessarily fail you. You'll get another go as long as you don't drastically roll back. But again, if the hill start is something you need to work on, make sure you work on it. So we're continuing on now, Old Mavila Road. Again, speed ramps, there's no point going any higher than second gear. Just the speed and also for the flexibility, etc., to gain yourself over them. As most routes are, you're going to get, you know, a bit of urban, bit of rural, bit of dual carriageway, etc. So this particular route that we're on, and they can deviate off routes. They're not always set in stone, because obviously roadworks could come in, the examiner could maybe try a different way, etc. So they're not set in stone. This is just covering as many areas in these videos that we can. At the end of the road, you're going to be asked possibly to turn right. So your normal procedure. And we're turning out on to a 40-mile-an-hour road, which you can see there with the repeater sign just further down from the bus stop, etc. But if you see street lights, maintain 30 until you see the sign, and then build up accordingly. We're now on Mavila Road. Travelling ahead, we can see we've got a 20-mile-an-hour, but it's a part-time, basically when the lights show. So if the lights are off, it's the normal speed that's appropriate for the conditions. But when the lights show, it would be an enforceable 20 maximum. But it's not a target, remember, that's just your maximum. Take the next road on the left, normal procedures. And we're going to turn into Stratheaton Heights. Now this sort of turns in and then climbs quite steeply. So make sure that you're in no higher gear than second for that. Still in the urban areas, we're going to deem this street as 30. Even if we miss the sign, we can sort of see consistent street lights, which is 30 miles an hour unless otherwise stated. Normal urban sort of hazards along here, expected parked vehicles, people come out of driveway, especially obviously when this was filmed, it was quite sunny, etc. So weather can bring out obviously a lot of other types of road users, etc. Coming up on the left is an area that they may get you to do a reverse round the corner. But we're going to be taking the next road on the left coming into view. So again, nice early procedure, appropriate gear, scanning to make sure nobody's crossing the road, etc. And turning in. And we've now entered Lawnbrook Drive. Haven't seen a change of speed limit sign since the last road, so we'll deem that it's just, again, within that 30 mile an hour maximum urban speed. Depending on the vehicle you're driving, depends on what gear. So this car is quite happy in second gear for most roads like this. But your car may be second or third, excuse me, depending on the car itself. At the end of the road, we're going to turn to the left. So normal procedures, closed junction because we can't see both ways clearly. So stopping, preparing into first, checking both ways, especially for bikes as well. And we've now entered Cronston Cottage Park. So this sort of route that we're taking tonight has a lot of junctions very, very close together, certainly on the first part of the course itself. Now this little bit here, a lot of people think a junction is just a very, very tight turn to the right. So you're looking roughly about 15 at the most for this. At the end of the road, we're going to emerge to the left. So again, normal procedure, closed junction. So coming up, slipping into first, checking both ways. And we've now entered into Cronston Road. This road at this sort of point when it was filmed was quite rough. There's speed ramps up until the next T-junction. So again, remember, don't take the ramps too quick. You're looking in around about 15-18 as a average. Coming up to T-junction here, just so you can see the garage in the foreground. We're going to turn right here. So again, normal procedure. Position well beside the centre white line. And checking both ways, obviously, before you head out. We've now turned onto a new road, which is Donaghadee Road. And this road is actually 40, but the repeater sign, as you can see, the first one's a little bit of a distance in. So again, you can keep 30 until you see it. And then if things are moving well, no parked cars, etc., make safe, relevant progress. So we're now going to be drawing from sort of urban now to suburban. So suburban speed limits can be 40 or 50. So we're obviously in the 40 here. And as we reach the summit of the hill, you'll see then the national speed indicating that we're going to enter the rural. So any speed limit increase or decrease, scan the mirrors, look for behaviour changes, and if safe, certainly on the increase, then we're now taking up to 45. Again, car dependent, this could be 4th or 5th. As long as you're not over sort of 3,000 revs, you're okay really in the gear you're in. So we're now thinking rural hazards, cyclists, horse riders, tractors, etc. You can see the centre white line as well as changing length. The longer the line, the more hazards. Good examples could be hill, corner or junction. When your line sort of goes half the length, as it will coming into view very shortly, that means then that the hazards are reducing. The sight lines on the road tend to be more sort of level and straight. Now, when you're videoing, sometimes it can seem very, very quick. It's just the way the perspective is of the camera further closer to the windscreen. So at the minute, I'm doing 45 miles an hour on the straights, but it may sort of feel a little bit quicker. Again, we can see the white lines starting to lengthen, indicating we've got a bend. Don't necessarily need to brake for all corners, but certainly check the mirrors, ease off the throttle, and then just feed round. Speed lower, observe warning there, just on the road itself. Indicates maybe a corner that's had a bit more history in the past. Generally, there's no set speed they want to go down to, because again, it's obviously vehicle dependent. Cars will maybe take a corner, might be quicker than a van, etc. So, but slow, it's an easy way to remember, is speed lower, observe warning. So here we come again, and we've actually got 2 in a row here, so there must be a bit more history, a bit more hazardous in these sort of bends. Positioning well into the corner for the optimum view. Mirror checks, you're looking, obviously your interior mirror and your speed check, you know, every sort of 7-8 seconds, just as an average. Side mirrors, you can check obviously as well for like some motorbikes, etc., because they can sort of come up alongside you, just sort of tucking in at the back corner looking for an overtake. And sometimes the interior mirror doesn't cover the bike, so it's good to check the side ones as well. Again, coming up the corner, just after the hill, it's going to bend round. Basically treat your hills as vertical bends, because at the end of the day you don't know what's around the corner, you don't know what's over a hill. Long lines, continuous now, so obviously there's an increase of hazards. And even as we sort of enter down, we can see a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. So again, checking the mirrors, easing off, touch your brakes there just to give information. And we're now coming up to a roundabout. You can see the information board. We're going to take the first exit towards Bangor. So normal left-hand approach. This one here opens up into 2 lanes quite late, so just watch that you don't drift between the 2. Enter the roundabout accordingly. And shortly we'll be taking the first road to the left, and this will take us into Green Road. The last speed limit sign we seen was 40, so we're deeming this as 40 because we haven't seen anything otherwise. Traffic's moving well, no parked vehicles, so working up through the speed and the gears. National speed signs again, so we're just going to check, although we can't really go much more than an extra 5, other traffic could possibly increase to 60. So you're looking for an early overtake from other vehicles, that is, so obviously you don't want to accelerate with them. Quite straight and level this road, so we can see there the centre white lines are shorter, cat's eyes after every 2 now. But we've still sort of got slight sort of hills and a sort of undulation there of the road. Depending obviously on the time you're driving here, it's quite sort of twilight, sort of low sunshine, etc. So the likes of cyclists, people walking, etc., very, very easy to get lost in the shadows. Again, we've got slow, speed, lower, observe warning, so checking the mirrors, I'm easing off, white lines getting longer. So we've got a hill and then straight into a bend there to the left. So just taking a nice position, just left the centre line. Further up I can see a bit more houses, a bit more street lights, etc. So I'm expecting a change of speed soon. And there, as we can see it, 30 miles an hour. So checking the mirrors, easing off, braking if need be. And most cars, 3rd gear for 30 as well, gets you a bit of engine braking. Now when you come down to a 30 after a national, even though it's only 15 miles an hour difference, it can be very, very slow just until you sort of get used to that. Alright, and a lot of people end up sort of going too fast, okay, but just let the speed sort of you get used to the speed basically. Travelling up, you may be asked to pull in. Just remember, try not to do it on a top of a hill, on a bend, etc. Somewhere safe, somewhere convenient. Other than that, we're just negotiating for about another 30 seconds or so. Maybe a wee bit longer actually, until we get to a set of traffic lights where I'll explain where we're going to go next. Remember, coming down hills as well, always ease off. Gravity will add on a few extra miles an hour, and sometimes that will take people by surprise. Top of this second hill, just coming up the first one now, there's a set of traffic lights, and we're going to emerge to the left. So again, normal procedure, watch out for side roads on approach in case there's confusion with the indicator. Choice of two destinations, so advice is to indicate here to the left. Another hill start, unless it's an automatic handbrake, always activate the handbrake, parking brake, etc. to avoid any rollback. As well as checking your lights, check the two side mirrors as well for the bikes and motorbikes who may filter. Some lights can take obviously longer than others, so try not to look too many areas like in the shops or businesses. Stay focused on the traffic and the lights. And remember, if there's anybody behind you, don't rush off necessarily for them. Just take your normal time. When we enter the new road, following round left, it will just filter automatically into the left-hand lane. So there's no on-slip on this one at all. Remember, wait for green, proceed if clear. Even though cars beside you may already be starting to move on the red and amber. Red and amber is prepare, get ready. So we came off at 30, we can now see the national speed. So again, checking the mirrors, just for really checking on behaviour. And again, your examiner, he or she will expect you working through the gears, working through the speed. So we're going to do 40 miles, sorry, excuse me, we're going to do 45 now because we're into the national. Dual carriageway can be sort of quite daydreaming type of part of the test, so try to stay focused. Maybe check your mirrors, check your speed, every few seconds or so. Just gives you something to do as well. Very, very easy to switch off dual carriageways. We've got a roadwork warning triangle. It says 1 mile ahead. There's no indication yet if there's going to be a lane closure, temporary traffic lights, etc. But because of obviously the speed of other drivers coming up, they like to tell you nice and early. Another thing that can happen on dual carriageways, especially the straight bits, people can sometimes sway about. Just look as far ahead as you can. Try to keep the hands roughly 2:45, 10:2, etc. If the dual carriageway like this one's quite open, you may feel crosswinds, so just slight adjustments of the steering might be needed. I can see a bit more information now. I've got a yellow roadwork sign, and it looks like the right hand lane is going to come to an end in X amount of distance. So left lane is open. Just start to check as well your right hand lane, look for anybody that might start to push in, but don't wave anybody in, let them do what they're going to do. Just you drive defensively. So we're now down to 400 yards, sort of becoming up to 200 yards, and we can start to see we've got the keep to the left order, big arrow, etc. Just checking, there's no traffic now in the right hand lane, so not expecting any pushing in, but we could obviously have queues now because we've got the same amount of traffic but only half the road. Change of speed, so again, checking the mirrors, making sure you're no more than 40 as you pass the sign. End the dual carriageway warning triangle, the centre reservation will finish shortly. Possibly still up in 2 lanes. But when the dual carriageway ends, you'll find the lanes will sort of compress in quite a bit. So you can even see the difference there now. We're going to travel on at the next set of traffic lights. Remember, the sort of guide is follow the road ahead unless you're told left or right. So we've got a filter system here. So it's green for straight, green for right, due a change. So always anticipate that. Now there's 2 or 3 routes come back into yards this way. There's normally parked cars quite soon after the 30 sign, but always wait until you see them before you do your moving out sequence. So as soon as you see them, top and right mirrors, indicator on, and head out. Check you've got the speed in tow here, because you come up to a 30. And again, depending on the vehicle, most vehicles will like third gear for 30. Just watch, you're on quite a steep hill, so you may need to touch the brakes on occasions to maintain. We've got cars further down, so I'm not going to return to the left, because it would be just heading straight back out within a few seconds. So just maintaining here, because it's the passage of best progress. Scanning the crossing, nobody there, nobody is activated with the LEDs and the wait sign. And the next sort of junction we're going to be at is the first of two roundabouts. Now these roundabouts are quite close together. We're going to turn right at the second roundabout. So you can use whatever lane you want at the first one, in which case for this scenario would be the right hand of the two. You can see it marked there in front of you. So it's a normal straight on procedure, but just using the right hand lane for the first one. Indicating to leave, and as you can see now, that guides you in to the right hand lane now, early to turn right at the next roundabout. And then it's just a normal right hand procedure at the roundabout, traffic permitting. We're now in Zion Place, following the van into the town centre. Remember, always check left before you indicate and leave, in case you have to do that loop round again with the right indicator on. We've now entered Francis Street, two-way traffic, but we'll shortly be going into a one-way system. Scan your crossing early, look for anybody near the button, etc. So what we're going to do at the crossing merge point here at the island is we're going to be trying to come into the right hand lane as we go down the hill. So checking the mirrors early, indicating to show intentions, approaching with caution, and if it's safe, then glide directly into the right hand lane. But if you're not sure in the gap or there is oncoming, stop and give way to them. Now turning into the lower part of the one-way system. We are now on High Street. I'm going to move over to the left, so checking mirrors, indicating, sliding over if it's safe. And we're going to take the next road on the left, just after where the silver van's parked. This one is a very, very tight street. So maybe down into first, but certainly have your speed down to about 10. And we're turning back into South Street. Again, all 30-mile-an-hour areas, but remember, it's a limit, not a target. We're going to go straight on at these lights. Your examiner probably won't say anything at all, just indicating you're following the road ahead. Quite tight here, cars on either side, so don't worry if you have to get the speed down between sort of 10-15 on occasions. Good rule of thumb, less space, less speed. The upcoming traffic lights, we're going to go straight. You can go straight in either lane, so your examiner may ask you to use the right hand lane. And that will then set you up to turn right at the second lights. Some examiners won't, so you'll be in the left lane and you may have to move over about now. I'm going to turn right at the next lights, so again, normal procedure. Sliding into the off slip, checking your oncoming traffic. Get the front car position out just past the crossing. And now it's just waiting for a gap in the traffic regardless of what the light is. We've now turned back into Jubilee Road, and this will lead us up back to the test centre. In regards to manoeuvres, manoeuvres can be done in various places. Your instructor will have gone through all manoeuvres by the time you come to test. common manoeuvres if you're back into Jubilee roads could be a turn in the road a few streets down from the test centre, or a bay park back at the centre itself. Now, the test centre is for MOTs as well, obviously, as the driving test, so be wary of people again stopping very suddenly at the gate. They might be sort of trying to look to see what lane they're in, and that's really why the ramp is here. So down into second at your highest, about 15 miles an hour is fine. If you haven't done, if you have done your manoeuvre, I beg your pardon, you'll just be returning in to the spaces that you left from. So this next ramp, first gear job, in the round again about 5 miles an hour. To turn into the spaces on the left, keep roughly about a car width out. Indicate if somebody's going to benefit from you, but make the car nice and slow, rolling in. And as soon as you stop, handbrake, neutral, and that is the test finished. So hopefully you enjoyed that, folks, and you got some use, and you will get some use out of that. There'll be other videos to follow, so please remember, check Intensive Driving Courses NI, like and subscribe, and I'll speak soon.